So next question on the list is directed to Bobby. And the question is, in what scenario would you ease the credit approval for a customer during COVID-19?
When and how are we going to ease our credit? When you ask a question like this, it means we are not supposed to give credit to these customers of ours or companies. And then somehow, because of the pandemic situation, we have to change our rules. Now, this is a very sensitive question because, although we are credit practitioner in a way, but all three of us, in a way, we are the boss, we are the salespeople. We have two hats. Okay. Obviously, we want to do more business. Correct. But in the meantime, after we give out credit and we do business, we want to collect them. And we want to collect them fast. And we don't want to collect them, or not even be able to collect them. So when you are saying that when and how and why we should ease out, the credit, this is something I don't want to give like forced information idea to the audience that we have to do that. There's no such thing. We have to ease our credit.
Exactly. That's the reason why it's like under what scenario, what situation.
Sure.
Would I agree? Yeah.
I'm going to answer your question, but I need to be very careful. I don't want to give the force idea to people that, this is something you must do. If you don't have any customers or clients fall into the situation, which I'm going to talk about later, you shouldn't be doing that. This is the first thing, I always say, because it's easier than that. Because in a situation like this, if you give out credit and in your own cash flow could be in bad positions. I mean, if you are just maintaining whatever you have and then you're doing less business, it would be better. But if you end up in doing business without being able to collect your money, and then that would be a ripple effect. Okay. So this is I have to precondition that first. Okay, make sure everybody understands, And then if I have to, or it's not I have to, if I see an opportunity, let's put it this way, justify, So what is an opportunity? What is it justify? The first thing I'm going to look into is because by doing that, I will somehow increase my market share in the long run. Okay. By doing that, I'll give out credit to these companies, which I believe, because me helping them out in a way, when you say ease, I'm saying that I'm helping them out. Okay. Instead of, saying no to them, I would say yes to them. The first thing I'm looking to, it has to be help increase my market share. Secondly, okay, although it's not a must, but I will look into companies not too big and not too small. The reason why, a small company, a very small company, even you help them out, you won't increase your market share, or at the end of the day, this company might still go belly up because the company is too small. You want to help them, but still, situation went bad, and I know a lot of people, and my customers, they can help it. Just you give them 2 more months, maybe they will still survive, but they have to close down the business. But when you are dealing with a company that is too big, even you help them, because the company is too big, they won't remember them. And the next thing, even if they remember it, but somehow the person that is in charge of procurement, after 2 months later, he might be gone. You never know.
That's true.
You are dealing with a company. You are not dealing with a person. So the company itself won't know that you are helping them. So what I would do is I want to ease off these things. I would deal with the boss directly if I have a chance. Okay, instead of giving that thing to a small procurement manager. The second thing is a company. It's a healthy company, and I'm saying healthy. It's like they've been around for quite some time. Okay, and it's not very big. It's not very small. and I can see somehow they have a potential to become bigger. It's because, after pandemic, you would see a lot of companies might close down, and there were the people who can survive might take away, a bigger market share. So if you can identify these companies, which you're going to apply these strategy, I would say it's a strategy. It's not a credit decision. This has to be a business decision yourself. Okay, you don't go by checking them out, asking them to give you a financial statement and do something like that. You do it simply because you know the background, and it's just Vincenzo what said, the supply chain, the ecosystem. Maybe they have a very good customers that that help out in the long run. So to cut the long story short, I would say if I can increase market share in the long run, I would do that.
Based on my 30 plus years of experience in credit management, I would see the word credit will forever survive, because extending credit, extending credit is basically a sales tool. It's not only about credit, because when other suppliers are extending credit and you are not, then the buyer will not buy from you. And that also stimulates sales, apparently. And to do that, of course, you need to have a very good credit management system and policy. And sooner or later, I would say, because this webinar, we were all the time, related to COVID-19. But as I said earlier, sooner or later, it will exist. It will continue to exist. I believe COVID-19. But again, the governments, every country, you can see that, like UK or some few countries, they are so determined to, to terminate the ban, to terminate any lockdown, because the pain that has been felt is to everyone, especially the government. Okay, because if you're talking about a social gathering, a lot of banks and people, they get frustrated. No good. No good to any stability, in the political point of view. So I would say, yes, certainly we should at any time appropriate, after your due diligence, your thorough checks, or your more communications with the customers, understanding the customers, why not? You should extend credit. And what we are considering now is, based on the current pandemic situation, we may have to shorten or modify some credit terms, shorter credit terms, or smaller amount, credit amount, or requiring, if it's a contractual agreement to supply or to buy, then you may ask for some collateral, personal guarantee, or open to discussions, because the customers, if they really need your service or goods, they will talk to you.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's basically, I don't see that the COVID-19 pandemic will forever, adversely affect the credit extension. It will, it has, in fact. But I think in the long run, sooner or later, we'll go back to normal. And again, the basic requirement is all the time, not only during the COVID-19 pandemic time, but all the time you should have a sound and, always under review credit management policy and system.